Hey guys, I'm Shoaib, but today let's talk about some of my most used applications on the Mac. So for our first application, we have Google Chrome. So Google Chrome is my browser of choice. I use it for web browsing. I use it for checking my email, creating thumbnails. So I've been using a lot more web-based softwares like Canva, and I'm not a true designer, and I'm sorry. I used to use Photoshop, but it was taking way too much time. Canva is just quick and has everything I need, like considering I'm not a professional designer or anything. So you let me know what you think of my thumbnails. Like all my thumbnails have been made in Canva, put pieces together, and you have the thumbnail. So let me know what you guys think of my thumbnails. But if I do need Photoshop features, I also use this other web-based software called Pixabay, which is also great. So I can do a lot of the basic like Photoshop things that I need, like removing the background or maybe adding a text or cropping images, stuff like that. So a lot of basic Photoshop features are there. I mean, it also has advanced features as well, but I don't use all those features. But it's a web-based software and it's really easy to use. In addition, I use Chrome for scripting. So I use Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets. So all that is nice. So I use all that on the website. I love using Chrome for watching videos. It feels native, very nice in that sense. And I also read a lot of tech news. So I'm, reading articles on Google Chrome on various websites like Mashable or New York Times technology section and stuff like that. So Chrome is definitely a 10 out of 10 web browser. For our second application, we have Final Cut Pro. And this is probably the most expensive application I use. It is $300, but it is a one-time purchase. So you just buy it and you're good. So this is my editor of choice. So Final Cut Pro is my editor of choice. So when I first learned video editing, it was like on Windows Movie Maker. Like, remember Windows Movie Maker? It was like 9 or 10, so I didn't really remember too much of it. I was mainly using it for, slideshows and stuff, and that was cool. But then when I got a bit more into editing, I took a course in middle school called TV Studios, and that is where I went more in depth learning on iMovie, which is my official first video editor because I went in depth and I actually did a ton of projects on it. I really liked the simple interface of iMovie, the user-friendly features, and totally life-changing shortcuts, saves you a ton of time. So I do really liked all that feature of iMovie. So when I grew up and I wanted to go pro, I learned even more, and that's where Final Cut Pro came in. Most of iMovie shortcuts translated to Final Cut Pro, and it's similar, very familiar in terms of the user interface, and it kind of felt like home because I was already kind of used to it. So I use Final Cut Pro for all my videos these days, and I'm constantly learning new ways to improve my video qualities, not just the visuals, but also the audio and effects and animations. So putting it all together, I'm constantly improving. I'm always watching a YouTube tutorial or reading a tutorial on how to do something. And I really like the new magnetic mask feature on Final Cut Pro. That's really cool because it allows me to do stuff like this, and I'm learning other stuff. So if you are new to my channel, definitely subscribe to see my progress in editing in the long term. And let me know how you like the edits on this video for sure. This is also going to be edited on Final Cut Pro. Moving on, the next software that I use most often on my Mac is Camo Studio. And this is probably my most used, if not top 3 for sure. So they have a free version, which doesn't have all the features because they also have subscriptions. They have a $9 a month plan. They have a $50 a year plan, and then a lifetime if you just pay $100 one-time payment for a lifetime. So I recently found out about this guy, and they have a dedicated app on the S24 Ultra, so I can use the camera on my S24 Ultra in 4K. So this video recording that you're seeing is done on the S24 Ultra through Camo Studio. And I personally really like this application. It has a ton of features. I can blur the background, I can fix coloring of the video and stuff like that. Yeah, you can really do a lot of professional things. For the most part, I just go with the basic stuff because the camera is already doing a great job in terms of the quality, and I have good lighting in my room, I would like to say. So it just does it. So it's just more plug and play, and it just works. So the software has a ton of features, but not everything is free, like I've mentioned. So that kind of sucks, but maybe one day I can afford to pay for it and actually get the lifetime version or something. So currently I really do like Camo Studio. I use it for all my high quality shorts you may seen, with the ones with my face, and then there's content on top of me and stuff like that. So that's all filmed on Camo Studio. Then I edit the video in CapCut. But yeah, Camo Studio is definitely a great application that I can't go without. All right, so for the next application, you are already seeing it in effect. So it is QuickTime. So I use QuickTimes for all my screen recording needs and stuff like that. And it does a very good job. It's a very simple software. Like, you can't go wrong with QuickTimes. It's a simple video player in addition to also being a great screen recording capture. It can do a lot of those basic stuff like seamlessly, so you don't need a third-party software or anything. If you have a Mac, this comes pre-installed and you can use those features. So it allows you to record your screen, it allows you to use the webcam and like film yourself. It also allows you to just record audio if you ever need to do that. And that is nice. So it's simple, and I love using the recording, like all the screens and stuff. So yeah, so I like the simplicity and functionality of QuickTime Player, and it just does it. So everything, all my videos, whenever you've seen like I done a screen capture, that's on QuickTime. So QuickTime is definitely up there, and it's free. It comes with your macOS. The next application kind of has two parts to it. There's one application that you download on your Android phone, and the other one you download on the Mac. So this is called KDE, and on the Mac it's called Soduto. So those are the companions. So you get the KDE on your Android, that's the app for the Android, and then you download Soduto on your Mac, and this is basically AirDrop for Android. And I really love this. I use this all the time. Like, it's great. So I'm always moving files from my S24 Ultra to my M1 MacBook Pro and vice versa. Like, I'm transferring files from my Mac to my phone as well. So Soduto AirDrop for Android allows me to do that quick and easy, and it's a very simple application, and I really do enjoy using it. I wish Apple would allow AirDrop features natively on Android and other platforms, but they don't, so this is a way around it. So Soduto, definitely would recommend it. I believe it's free, so check it out for sure for yourself. All right, so for all my notes-taking needs, especially on the computer, like simple notes, like if I'm doing research or if I want to make like my to-do list, this is a very simple app. I mean, it can be complex, but I've changed it to be very simple, and that is the TextEdit software on macOS. So it's very similar to, like right now, it looks very similar to like Notepad on Windows, and this is where I'll write my to-do list for the day, and for the most part, I will just go through it throughout the day and kind of check it off. Or a lot of the time, maybe if I'm planning out the week in terms of what I need to do and what needs to get done, I'll just write it on TextEdit, and then I'll cross it off as I go. And it's a very simple app. I'll just write my to-do list, and then I'll save it on like desktop, so it's always there and I can open it up, update it, and go from there. It's a simple free native app for macOS, and it just works great. Its simplicity is definitely key. So this next application is only available on the latest macOS 15 Sequoia, and that is iPhone Mirror. So I recently upgraded to macOS 15, and so now I have iPhone Mirror, and there's a new software on the latest macOS 15, and it's honestly super handy. You can launch most applications, good for social media, so if you want to check your social medias real quick, but your phone is not necessarily arm's reach, you can connect it from your Mac using iPhone Mirror, and it seems very smooth, like seamless. Feels like I'm using my phone. I do want to mention that you can't launch the camera app, but you don't need that. You can already use your iPhone as a webcam on your Mac through continuity features and stuff like that. So iPhone Mirror is more for, let's say, social media, checking status. But one thing I like to use it for, so I have the Google Home application, and that's how I control my lights and other smart things in the house. So whenever I'm using my S24 Ultra to record my videos, I can't really use it to control other things. So that's when I use my iPhone 12 mirrored on my Mac, and then I just go into the Google Home app, and then I can change my lights. So I can turn off the floor light right now. I can turn it on. So I just did that from my computer with iPhone Mirror connected. So it's back on. But yeah, things like that. So I think iPhone Mirror is a cool app, and I would definitely recommend it. It comes installed, so once you get macOS 15, once you download macOS 15, it will come pre-installed. You just got to link it to your iPhone, and I think it's through Apple account and stuff like that, so that's not a problem. Just have those set up. As long as you're synced with your Mac and your iPhone, it should just work. And I do like that about Apple applications, where things just connect seamlessly. Like, you don't really need to put as much effort as, let's say, on Windows or something to connect. The continuity features of iPhones is definitely premium, and I really like that. Moving on to our next application, and this is both a web-based and also a dedicated macOS application. This is also available on Windows, so it's not just for Mac, but this is the ChatGPT application for desktop. So ChatGPT is definitely a new friend to me, and it's very useful for helping me start a new video idea or fixing my words and grammar for emails and things like that. And other times it's also just fun to play around with, like generating images or asking it fun math questions, programming questions, stuff like that. So I've found ChatGPT to be very helpful in my day-to-day use, so I definitely use it daily at this point. And I'll make like a more in-depth video on like all the things that I really use it for, all the artificial intelligent features that I use it to take advantage of in order to help me in my process of video editing or just my life in general, things like that. So I really do find ChatGPT Desktop very easy, very accessible. I can just hit Option Space and it'll pop up and I can ask it whatever questions I want, and it's nice in that sense. So ChatGPT Desktop, I would definitely recommend it. If you ever want to uninstall a macOS application, but you also want to make sure that it's deleting all the files related to the application, AppCleaner is definitely the #1 to go to. So like it completely deletes and uninstalls a program from your Mac. All you have to do is open your applications window and then open AppCleaner and just drag the application in there, and then it will detect all the files and you just delete it, wipe it out of your computer. And I really use this guy all the time and it's free. So definitely give it a go and check it out. I would highly recommend it. I've been using it ever since I got my Mac, and it's very useful, very simple user interface, and it's free. Moving on, I used to use Adobe Acrobat all the time as a student because it was available for students for free through the university, but ever since I have moved on and I'm like working and I'm not in school anymore, Adobe stuff are very expensive. So this is where an alternative to Adobe Acrobat comes in. It's called PDFgear. I recently found out about the software and I immediately deleted Adobe Acrobat. Like, it can do everything that Adobe's very expensive softwares can do. You can like sign documents, annotate presentations, fill out forms, combine PDFs, convert to Word, Excel, and many other features. So I absolutely love it and I would highly recommend it. It's a must-have and it's free, so definitely check it out. And for the final application on my macOS that I can't go without and I use most often on my macOS is Alfred. It's very similar to Apple's native Spotlight search, but it's just way better. It can search all your files on your computer as long as you give it access in the menu, the options menu in the settings, and it's really fast. You just type it and it's looking for your files right away. But not only can it do like on-device stuff, it can also just search the web. So if you want to search Google, Amazon, eBay, you can just search it in this little search bar and it will get you there. So I recently found out about it and I absolutely love it. Like, it feels very native, very similar to Spotlight search, but it's way better. It can search all your files on the computer and search anything on the web as well. So definitely check it out. It is free, but they do also have like subscription-based stuff, but I think the free is good enough, so I'm just sticking to the free stuff because it does what I need it to do, and I think it's really nice. It's a simple design and it's really fast. Well, that is it for today, guys. I do have the links to all the software that I've mentioned and where you can download it in the video descriptions below, so definitely check it out for any of the applications that you may like and you may want to try out yourself. A lot of these I use on the daily and I found them very useful. They work. For the most part, all of them have a free version, so definitely go with that, except for Final Cut Pro. That has a paid version. Other than that, all the other applications are free and you can get it using the links in the video description, so definitely check it out. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell icon. As always, have a superb day and thanks for watching.